So maybe you're thinking, what? Let me explain and show. We're going to play a game called Game of Crowns. In the past, here's how it's looked. This was a few years ago when I taught in Sioux Falls. There were 6 houses, they were called, and their names were Odegaard, Targaryen, Stark, Melillian, Freeze, and Z. Some of those names are the same this year, some of them have been changed. What you see within them are 4 what's called feuds. So for instance, within Melillian, one group was called the Thieves, one was called the Order of the Fallen Angels, one group were the Fierce Flamingos, and then one group was called the Demon Hippo Tigers. This is where we kept track of our scoring. Each house had a total down here. So again, back to House Melillian, they had a total score of 486 points. That was a combination of each feud's total. So the 81, the 133, the 113, and the 159 added together equaled 486. Okay, so we did this earlier in this school year with a different class that I teach, and theirs looked like this. Slight variation because we did it within just one class, and it was based on individuals instead of small groups and then one larger team, how we're going to do it. The main thing to see here and how this is dynamic and how it works. Within each house, each person in this case, or in your case, each small group within your class period, you're going to be with 2 or 3 other people. You cannot win unless your total house wins. And I think showing you that will make much more sense. Will, and this is Will Allen, he was the winner. He had 56 points and he was in the winning house because 2L, 2Q had the most points total, 157. But notice that Will himself did not have the most individual points. That actually was Josiah. The difference being this house had the most points, whereas Josiah's house did not. And even though Josiah had the most points of any other individual, Will, because he was the highest point getter within the winning house, was our overall winner. So here's how ours looks right now today. Our houses are called Stark, Lannister, Greyjoy, Tyrell, Targaryen, and Arryn. You will come up with your own feud names. So for instance, if you're placed in House Stark, you and the 2 or 3 other people in your class period within House Stark will come up with a feud name, and I'll type those here once you've come up with those. Same is true for period 3. When those 3 or 4 students together within the House Stark come up with their own individual feud name, I'll enter that there. Now, how this works. Let's say that you earn some points. Those go here. I'm going to say 15. And notice when I entered the 15 for you, it added it to the total. Let's say that this feud, so this would be 7th period, within your house, Stark, gets 10 points. Now you're at 25. There is something as far as a consequence or a bad thing, and that's called a cloak. If you receive a cloak, what will happen here is I enter the number 5, because every cloak that you get is negative 5 points, and it automatically will subtract from your total score. So you need to avoid cloaks. Cloaks are received for misbehavior, not being focused, even outside of class things. If we hear or if we know of things going on at lunch or in the halls or in the library, and they are poor choices, then your house could receive a cloak. So it's good to check each other and to encourage one another to work hard and to be good people and to do what you're supposed to do. And that's hopefully going to benefit you. There's something over here called the bank. And what we can do here is store points. So let's say that there's 50 in there right now. That doesn't automatically do anything, as you just saw with the points and adding here and there. But if there's points that aren't really owned, we can put them in the bank. Then we might have some sort of challenge or activity where the best group might receive those points in the bank. Kind of like Monopoly, where there's points just sitting places, and if you win them, you get them all. So kind of a bonus if you receive the money in the bank. Now, what I'm about to show you are your groups and your houses. This all says what I just explained, just in more detail. We can look at that if we need to. Here's period 2's house breakdown, and so these are the feuds within period 2. So House Stark members are Colby, Jonah, Jace. You can see the rest. I'll continue to work through. Now within the same column here, these people are on your team. You want them to do well. However, you don't want them to do too well. You're in the same house. Lannister, 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 and Lannister. But you still want your feud, your individual part of House Lannister, to do the best. So you need to balance. How much do you root for and hope that the other people in your house succeed and get points for you? But you also want your feud to be the best one within your house. Have fun playing Game of Crowns, and let's end this year on a very, very high note. Enjoy.